Awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third webinar. I'm really excited for all of y'all to be here and to join us. And if you're watching the recording later on, I hope that you learned something from this. Thank y'all for giving us an hour of your evening. We already don't get enough time at the end of the day anyway, so thank y'all for dedicating some time to this. Just as a quick reminder, this is a Zoom webinar, so you're not going to be able to turn on your camera or your microphone. Instead, y'all can utilize the Q&A and chat buttons down at the bottom. Today we're going to have some presenters talking about rec sports, our Harrington Patriot Center, or our HPC, our gym. We got the Dean of Students Office talking about counseling, the Wellness Center, Student Assistance and the Resource Office, or SAR, our Testing Center, all of those great things that are covered. And each one of these offices are going to give a quick 10-minute overview presentation to go over some key dates, some information from their office for this coming school year, so that your students can be nice and prepared. During each one of these presentations, you can ask the questions during or after. They can see the questions whenever they pop up, so they'll answer them either live during their presentation or afterwards during our Q&A session. So we'll go ahead and just kick it straight off with Rick, and he's gonna get going about rec sports and the HPC.
Great, thank you. All right. My name is Rick McGill. I'm the director of rec sports here at UT Tyler. I'm going to run you through just kind of a quick overview of what we offer, where we're located, and then some upcoming things that we want the students to be aware of. And hopefully we can be a great resource to your student as they come to UT Tyler. We are housed in the Harrington Patriot Center, which is a dual purpose facility. We house our athletic basketball arena here as well. But on the rec sports side, we have a fitness area with all of your standard fitness and strength equipment. We have 2 racquetball rooms. We have a lobby where your student may do homework and hang out. We also have an outdoor pool and spa. Access to this facility is included in the student fees. So as soon as the student arrives here on campus, they can swipe in and access our building. Our building is open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. throughout the week, and then 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on weekends. The basketball arena that I mentioned is open to the general student outside of practice and games as well. One of the things that we do outside of our building is offer a wide variety of open rec in different facilities. So since our basketball arena is heavily utilized, we open our auxiliary gym for the general student body. You can see the times there on the screen. We also have a golf green, a chipping and putting green here on campus that students may utilize free of charge. It is actually the facility that our athletic team uses, and so they are gracious to let us use it as well. And then we have a tennis center where actually pickleball has really taken off on our campus, and so we've opened a lot of times on the tennis courts to play pickleball. As with all of our programs, we offer all of the equipment necessary to participate in these programs. So if your student doesn't have a pickleball paddle or a ball or a tennis racket, whatever it may be, we have those resources here free of charge for your student. So we're very excited about that. Some of the things that we offer here within our facility on the programmatic side is fitness classes. You'll see a variety of them there on the screen. Again, no additional cost for your students. It's a great way to meet people, stay active, learn more about a healthy lifestyle, and what we can do here in the building to help with that. We offer a couple special events a semester in this realm, but the biggest, most popular one is our Goat Yoga event that sells out every time we do it. It is offered, again, free of charge to the students. We just ask that you sign up so we can limit the number of people. We only have so many goats, but it is a great event, and the students really love it. When we first brought it to campus, we weren't real sure how it would go, and since then we've gone from doing it once a year to 4 times a year. So it's been awesome. One thing I would like to highlight on this screen is the Beginners That Lift class that we offer. I believe it's Thursday evenings. I'll talk a little bit more about how to see that. But Beginners That Lift is a class specifically designed for people who have not ever lifted weights or haven't lifted weights much or feel like they need an extra push to kind of understand what it can do for them and how to do it effectively. So we offer a class for students that need that guidance. And one of the things I like to talk about kind of while I'm talking about this is the different ways we can get students kind of over that barrier of getting involved here at the rec. So one, like I said, you can join the Beginners That Lift class. We also offer fitness orientations. Anytime that you walk in the building, a staff member can help you and show you the ropes of what our building is. We also offer personal training to students, so they may sign up and have a personalized plan for them. And then lastly, for that student that really wants to kind of be more self-guided, all of our equipment here in the building has a QR code you may scan, and it will show you how to use the equipment and what it does for you. So not only the physical benefits of these classes, but obviously the social benefits of building that community here at UT Tyler. On the next pillar, we're going to talk about outdoor adventures. So there is a wide variety of different trips we take throughout the region that may involve backpacking, hiking, camping, canoeing. We even go skydiving each semester. So these are trips that are offered to the students. A change that we made in the last years, we actually supplement most of these trips. So all of the weekend trips like backpacking, hiking, things like that, we actually offer free of charge to students. So now they can go on those without that financial barrier. Bigger trips like skydiving, we offer at a steep discount. And then our biggest trip of the year is the ski trip to Durango, Colorado. I always touch on that just because I think it's such a great experience. We take about 40 students to Durango, Colorado to go skiing for a few days. And the student price on that is $250, and that's all inclusive. So it's a great, great opportunity. And consistently, when we look at our survey results each year for what we do here in Rec Sports, we find that the impacts that an outdoor adventures trip has on a student is just so great. And we find a lot of students finding a new passion in the outdoors. So that's a great, great thing for us. And then on the sports side, we offer intramural and club sports. So within intramural sports, you can play other UT Tyler students here on campus in a variety of sports. Like it says there, you name a sport, we offer it at least once a year. And you get the coveted intramural championship shirt, which you'll see throughout campus here, or the students will. If you're looking for a little more competitive environment, we have a club sport program where you can practice and create a team here of other UT Tyler students that will then go regionally to compete against other schools. And so we have a list of current active clubs there if your student wants to get involved in those or start their own club. It is a very easy process and one that our department will help them with. New this year, just want to drop real quick that we are using the Fusion Play app, which is where everything intramural and club sport related will happen. So that is one app that we definitely would like to have our students download so we can stay in contact with them about intramural and club sports. Here in the HPC, we have a wide variety of job opportunities as well. We are open a lot of hours throughout the day, and that is because we employ a lot of students to help us run this building. And so anything from fitness floor attendants to intramural officials, we even have some summer camp counselor positions. So all year round, we employ students. It's an on-campus job with flexible scheduling. We will work with class schedules and other work schedules and all of that. So we really try to cater it to the students. It's a great way to learn how to be part of an organization and learn those valuable skills we know they're going to need after they complete their time here at UT Tyler. So I mentioned one app. There is another app that is really the hub for everything Rec Sports. And so that is our Rec Sports app. You can find it by searching UT Tyler Rec Sports in the Google Play or Apple Store. So everything that we do within Rec Sports can be found here. The two things I'll touch on, one is hours of operation. Obviously, I mentioned those already, but that's a constant question we get is when are we open? And so it's right at their fingertips. And then lastly, the live occupancy button in the upper left-hand corner. So here, when someone enters the building, it tracks that they're in the building. And then a student who is not currently here can check in and see how many people are in the gym. So it's a way to know Hey, is it really, really busy in the gym right now? Do I want to choose a different time to go over and try to get on that machine I really like? So it's a feature that I think our students really enjoy. We also have our open court time I'll touch on the bottom right-hand corner. Like I mentioned, our basketball arena is heavily used. This button here will actually give you a schedule of the times where it's open for the general student body. So really, if I could stress anything to those new students coming, or something that you could tell your student who's coming, is would be the Rec Sports app, the Fusion Play app, and then obviously, those job opportunities are great to get them involved here on campus, and something flexible for them to do during their time here. All right, I think that's it for me.
Mm. Awesome. I don't see any Q&As in the chat right now, but if y'all have anything that pops up that you think about later, Rick is more than happy to answer them as they pop up. So we'll go ahead and switch now over to Mary and Kim, which are going to cover the next three couple topics that we have for the evening.
Sorry, I guess I was still on mute. My name is Kim Livingston Cobb. I'm the Associate Dean of Students at UT Tyler. So I supervise a lot of our student well-being and support areas. So we're going to talk about a lot of different wellness type things, as well as our student accessibility and resources, and then we'll turn it over to Mary. So some of the areas that I supervise are our Student Counseling Center, our Wellness Center, and then a lot of different wellness areas such as financial wellness, health clinic, and some student recovery. So our Student Counseling Center is free for students. So if your student has any type of mental health concern, needs to deal with some anxiety or depression, or some relationship issues, challenges, things like that, they can meet with a licensed professional here on campus. Know that we are confidential. We have the same level of confidentiality as if they were to see a professional in the community. So that's kind of an important thing to know. If you call our office to find out if your student is participating in counseling, we can't let you know that. Students have to sign a release for us to let anyone know whether or not they've attended counseling. That's really helpful for students to know that it's not part of their academic record or anything like that, and they can be assured of confidentiality. We work really hard to have at least one or two what we call same day appointments available for students. So if your student is going through a really tough time, and maybe they're feeling like they need to talk to someone as soon as possible, we can get them set up with a same day appointment. We also have psychiatric services in our office. We have a contract with UT Health, and work with our psychiatric residents there. And we usually get about a full day, so an afternoon and a morning of services there. So that's a really great benefit. Your student may already be on medication and need someone to continue to fill that medication, or something like that. So we do have that available. Students can go online and request an appointment. We get all their information, and then we will contact them and set up a great time for them to meet with someone. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll initially meet with one of our full-time staff for more of a screening session, initial problem solving, those kinds of things. And if your student decides they want continued counseling, then that counselor will help set them up with the right person. We do have some interns and practicum students in our clinic. So depending on the level of need is who the student will see. We also have a lot of different events, so different wellness events that are happening, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We also have a 24/7 crisis hotline. So if your student is ever in crisis, and needs to talk to someone right now, that is available to them as well. One thing that I really encourage all students to do is to download our Timely Care app. So this is a 24/7 app that is really meant to support all different types of wellness, well-being for our students. So they can do everything from Talk Now, which is a 24/7 on-demand service. So they can basically push a button in the app and immediately get connected with a licensed professional. So that's really helpful. And they can be anywhere. Even if they're traveling internationally, they can connect with that Talk Now. Sometimes students are really busy during the Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, that our Student Counseling Center is open, and they might need to have a video appointment with a counselor. They can schedule, they can go into the app and they can choose a provider, and they can schedule their own appointments with that provider, and that after hours is available there as well. There's health coaching, so maybe they have a particular health goal or some things like that. They also can schedule those. There's also psychiatry available, so we can help set your student up with that. But even if your student never has any intention of ever talking to an individual, and doesn't have any mental health challenges, the self-care content is really great. Everything from, here's recipes, or, here's yoga, or here's some stress management techniques, or here's some relationship things that can be helpful. So all of that is part of that app. There's also a peer community that's kind of like a social media type thing, but it's great for students to encourage each other. And so that can be really helpful as well. We do have a new student wellness center, which is really exciting for us. It really is a place for your student to just go and take a breath, take a breather. So it's not really meant to be a steady space. It's really meant to be a space where they can leave the world outside the door, really relax and rejuvenate. So we have everything from massage chairs. They can come in there and paint or do puzzles or get a snack, any of those kinds of things. And so that's available also Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. They don't have to schedule anything. They can just walk in anytime that they want to. We'll have lots of different kind of crafty things also available throughout the year that they can do in there if they find that relaxing for them. We also have a financial wellness office. So this is not financial aid. This really is about helping students to learn how to have a great relationship with money. So learn the skills and how to do things like budgeting and finance and all of those kinds of things, which is really, really helpful. Sometimes, our students get their financial aid and don't really know how to budget for that. And so we want to make sure that they don't spend all their financial aid the first week of classes. So connecting with our Center for Student Financial Wellness is really helpful. So they do lots of one-on-one financial coaching. There's workshop and events and online resources, all of those kinds of things. So they can go online and schedule an appointment with Bruce Bettinger, who is our certified financial wellness counselor. Other wellness services that we have on campus, we also have our university health clinic. So, if your student gets sick and needs to see a physician, they're able to go to our university health clinic. That office visit is free, which is great. There's not a copay or anything like that. If for some reason your student needs extensive lab work or an x-ray or anything like that, just, beyond that initial visit itself, there might be a charge, but they'll always tell your student ahead of time, and your student is able to use their insurance if they need to do that. So we also have a students in recovery program. that basically offers support and resources if your student is in recovery from some type of substance dependence. And we can kind of walk beside them and help them through that process and being able to maintain sobriety on the university campus. This is my direct contact information. And then the other area that I'm going to talk about is our student accessibility and resources. So a lot of places you might refer to this as disability services. So what is this office for? So basically a disability is any kind of condition that substantially limits one or more major life activity. And so know that this can be physical or mental, but it can also be, you know, learning, concentrating, communicating, those kinds of things. A majority of the students who utilize the services in our SAR office have what we call an invisible disability. So things like ADHD, anxiety, learning disabilities, those kinds of things. Only 7% of our students actually have disabilities that's you can tell when you look at them. So what do? We provide the accommodations. We work with a student to get their classroom accommodations. We help provide advocacy. Our goal is to work with your student to the point that when they graduate, they are able to be independent. They're able to self-advocate for themselves. One thing that is a couple things that are different from K through 12 is that students at the university level, they do have to self-identify. So your student, you know, maybe they've had accommodations in K through 12. They do need to register with the office, self-identify. The other thing that's important to know is that their diagnosis is confidential. So the only thing that our faculty know is that this student has an accommodation. They don't know anything about your student's disability, just that they need to provide a particular accommodation. There is an application process. You can assist your student with going online, filling out the application. They can upload whatever documentation they have. That might be from school, or it could be from an assessment outside of school. And they can upload that documentation. And then they meet with one of our staff members in our SAR office and basically go through, you know, what are the different accommodation needs that they have. Another thing that can be different from K through 12 is that sometimes as a parent, you have to work really, really hard to advocate for your student to get the accommodations that they need. On a university campus, our goal really is to find out what are the specific accommodations that each individual student needs. And so it really is an interactive process. It is something that we will sit down with your student, and there may be some accommodations that, you know, your student hasn't used before that could be helpful. Or there may be some things that they used in K through 12 that, you know, isn't really appropriate for the university level, but we will sit down with them and work out every detail of their plan and what their needs are. Also, part of our SAR office is our testing center. If you haven't been to the SAR office, it's a great, fairly new office space with a really great testing center. So we do provide all the accommodated testing. So if your student has a test in any of their classrooms, then those tests can be sent to the testing center. The student can come to the testing center and take their test there. We have the equipment that's needed. We have the, you know, separate quiet location offices, you know, some different things like that. So there's lots of things that we can provide through that. We can give the extra time and all of that. The other thing that we do have in our testing center are some standardized tests. So if your student is not yet TSI complete, they can take the TSI in our testing center. Some students like to CLEP out of some of their basics, and so we do give CLEP tests as well, and we give some correspondence test if they're enrolled in an online course at another university. So that is a quick overview of our student accessibility and resources. Cindy Lowry is the director. She wasn't able to attend tonight, but she is really great and looks forward to working with your student as well. All right, I will turn this over to Mary Logan.
Thanks, Kim. Would you mind clicking for me? That would be great.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Logan. I'm the Assistant Dean of Students, and I'm going to talk about these two areas. If you go next slide. Thanks. So I describe student assistance and advocacy as when your student doesn't even know what questions to ask, they can come to us. So as a parent, it'd be really helpful if you could, when they inevitably text you, you could redirect them to student assistance and advocacy. We're the place to come, and we will get them connected to the right campus resource. So just know that we are here to assist them. We get them either to that resource, or the other thing we do is we help students advocate for themselves. So we teach them some skills if they're concerned about a conversation with their faculty member, for example. We could either kind of role play that, or we can go with them to that meeting if they want to. We do that a fair amount of time. So yeah, we're the place where hopefully any challenges they are facing with the university, we can assist them in getting it resolved. Do next one, Kim, because I don't think I can. Okay. The other thing I wanted to point out is that our office is the official notification of absence to faculty. So if your student has an extended illness, if they're hospitalized, whether it's planned or unplanned, we're here to let the faculty know. All we ask is from the student is to provide some documentation so that we can send out a notification to the faculty that lets them know that this is legitimate. We are working very hard to have our faculty stop asking for doctor's notes, because that should really just come through our office. The other thing that students sometimes face is a death in the family, especially if it's a distance to travel to a wake or funeral. We can also, if they're going to miss a significant amount of time, we can notify their faculty and ask the faculty to provide them with extensions and deadlines for homeworks and quizzes and tests and that sort of thing. So knowing our information is really important, and letting your student know this is where you come to get stuff resolved. That's what we want you to take away from it all. Next one, Kim. Thanks. The other thing I'm responsible for is our care team. So this is where anybody within our community, and really external, because as family members, you've known these people a very long time. If you think that something is not right with your student, you can go online, and you can just put into UT Tyler's website, CARE, and you will get to a form that you can complete. And this helps us identify people who may need help. So we give these orientation sessions all the time. We give this information out, and we talk to students and faculty and staff as often as they'll invite us, and let them know that if you think something's wrong, like we tell students, your roommate hasn't left the room in 3 days, fill out a care report. So this helps us identify people who are struggling. Students at this age have only had probably a handful of years of decision making. So sometimes what they consider are all the options are not really all the options. And that's why we want to intervene, because sometimes we can provide them with other options. So We reach out to them and say our subject line in an email usually is something like, "Can I help?" And they can meet with us, they can ignore us. Sometimes they come around, a week or two or a month later. That's okay. We'll meet them where they are. So there's a committee of us that meets once a week to review all of the documentation and referral forms that have come in. And we try to see who can best provide this student with some resources. Next one. Other part I'm responsible for is the Office of Student Conduct and Intervention. So this is part of the Dean of Students office, and we have a Director of Student Conduct that I supervise. In the process, I just wanted to touch on a few things. They communicate to your student only through the Patriot email account. So please ask your student to look at their Patriot email account. This is the official way that the university communicates with your student. Our process is educational, but we hold students accountable because the vast majority of our students last year was 97% follow all policies and regulations. And so to keep our community safe, we hold people accountable if their behavior is in violation of our code of student conduct. Our typical sanctions, I've listed those out. Almost always, we give an educational sanction along with a punitive sanction. We're trying to get them to make different choices in the future. Some of our key policies that I wanted to highlight for you. Obviously, students who are under 21, there's no alcohol for them. Drugs are illegal. We are a tobacco-free campus, so things like vapes are illegal. They're against our student code of conduct. And the other one I want to mention was academic dishonesty. This is a big one because faculty use software that detects academic dishonesty. So we want your student to know that uh, there are consequences if they cheat, if they plagiarize. And I'll give you an example. If you go one more, Kim. Thank you. Believe it or not, this scenario happens almost every semester where somebody thinks that they're trying to be nice. One of their, somebody they know in their class tells them they're not understanding what the assignment is, how to do it. They don't, they're confused by it. And so they think they're being nice. And so they're like, oh, this is how I did it. And next thing you know, that friend just takes your name off of it and puts their name on it. And now you're both responsible for committing academic dishonesty. So again, we give this information to all of our students. Our Director of Student Conduct does a lovely presentation. This is one of his slides because you need to know before the assignment, is this something I can collaborate on or is it not something I can collaborate on? Faculty usually are really specific about this. And so we try to educate students so that they know you got to know ahead of time. Is collaboration allowed or not allowed? So if you could feel free to mention this to the family, to your student, that would be great. Just another reinforcement of all the ways that we're trying to help students understand what their responsibilities are while they're here. Next one. That's it for me. If you have questions, we're all here to answer your questions.
Awesome. So as she said, if y'all have questions, now would be a great time to drop them into the Q&A box below. If you don't have any questions, then that kind of sums up and wraps up this third webinar. So if you don't have questions, feel free to enjoy the rest of your evening, giving you back a little 25 minutes from the hour that you had dedicated. But if you do have questions, feel free to drop them in below and we will answer them as they come in. Right, doesn't look like we have any questions, so go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you all for joining us. And if you're watching this video recording, if you have any questions in the future, all of their contact information was posted on there. And if not, you can always email parents@uttyler.edu. Y'all have a great rest of your night.